Have you ever heard the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side? It's a classic, right? We all feel it sometimes, looking at someone else's life and thinking, wow, they have it all figured out. But today, I want to share a story that might just change how you see that saying. It's a simple story about a shepherd, but its message is incredibly powerful. Imagine a shepherd named Elias. He lived a quiet life, tending his flock on the rolling green hills. His days were predictable: wake up at dawn, lead the sheep to pasture, watch over them as they grazed, and guide them back home at dusk. It was a peaceful existence, but to Elias, it felt small, boring, even. Every day, he'd look down from his hills into the bustling city in the valley below. He saw the shimmering lights, heard the distant hum of activity, and imagined a life full of excitement and opportunity. He saw merchants with fine clothes, scholars with stacks of books, and artisans creating beautiful things. That's the life, he'd sigh to himself. A life of purpose, not like 'tis just watching sheep. One day, a wealthy merchant, his caravan laden with silks and spices, stopped by the pastures to rest. The merchant, whose name was Marcus, looked weary. He watched Elias calmly guiding a stray lamb back to its mother. Marcus approached him and said, "You have a peaceful life, shepherd. No worries, no risks. Just you and the open sky." Elias just laughed. "Peaceful? It's mind-numbingly dull. You, sir, you have a real life, traveling the world, seeing new places, making your fortune. I'd give anything for a day of your excitement." Intrigued, Marcus made a surprising offer. "All right," he said. "You take my finest robes, my purse of gold, and go to the city. I'll stay here and watch your flock. See for yourself which life is better." Elias couldn't believe his luck. This was his chance. He eagerly agreed, and the next morning, dressed as a merchant, he headed for the city, his heart pounding with anticipation. The first day was a whirlwind. The city was a sensory explosion. The smells of street food, the sound of 1,000 conversations at once, the sight of buildings that touched the sky. Elias spent his gold on fancy meals and new clothes. He felt alive, important. He went to the market, trying to mimic the other merchants, but he quickly realized he knew nothing about negotiating prices or judging the quality of goods. He lost a significant amount of money in a bad deal, and the stress of it kept him awake all night. The next few days were no better. He tried to join the scholars in their debates, but found their discussions confusing and their world exclusive. He visited the artisans' workshops, admiring their craft, but he had no skill of his own to offer. The excitement he had craved soon turned into a constant, gnawing anxiety. A was lonely. In the city of thousands, he didn't know a single soul. He missed the familiar, trusting faces of his sheep. He missed the quiet comfort of the hills and the predictable rhythm of his days. The life of purpose he had imagined was just a frantic, stressful race he didn't know how to run. Meanwhile, back on the hills, Marcus was having a very different experience. The first day was a challenge. The sheep were stubborn, the sun was hot, and one of the lambs kept wandering off. He was used to giving orders and having them followed, but sheep don't care about a merchant's authority. He had to learn patience. He had to learn to read the weather from the clouds and find the best patches of grass. He learned the names Elias had given each sheep and discovered their unique personalities. By the third day, something shifted. Marcus woke up with the sun, The air crisp and clean. The constant pressure of profit margins and rival merchants was gone. There was only the gentle bleating of the sheep in the vast, open sky. He found a profound sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. He wasn't Marcus the merchant anymore. He was just a man, watching over living creatures. He felt a deep sense of responsibility, of connection. He realized that this boring life was actually filled with a quiet, steady purpose to care for, protect, and nurture his flock. It was a simple purpose, but it was real and deeply fulfilling. At the end of the week, a very humbled Elias returned to the hills. He was no longer wearing the fine robes, having sold them to recoup some of his losses. He saw Marcus sitting peacefully under a tree, a contented smile on his face, a lamb resting its head on his lap. They didn't need to say much. They both understood. "The city," Elias said, his voice quiet. "It's not for me. I was so busy looking down at what I thought was a better life. I never looked around at the good life I already had." Marcus nodded. "And I was so busy chasing wealth, I forgot what it felt like to be at peace. Your pasture isn't just grass, shepherd. It's a kingdom, and you are its king." They traded back their roles, but they were both changed men. Elias returned to his flock with a newfound appreciation for his life. He saw the beauty in the sunrise, the importance of his work, and the richness of his simple world. His life hadn't changed, but his perspective had. He was no longer just a shepherd. He was the guardian of the hills, a keeper of life. He had found his purpose right where he left it. "And Marcus?"
"Ha! Marcos?"
He went back to the city, but he started spending his weekends in the countryside. He learned to find moments of quiet and to appreciate the simple things. He realized that wealth meant nothing without peace of mind. So what's the takeaway from the shepherd's story? It's not that ambition is bad or that city life is worse than country life. It's that the greener grass is often just an illusion. True contentment doesn't come from changing our circumstances, but from changing our perspective. It's about finding the purpose and beauty in the life we have, right here, right now. It's about watering our own grass instead of just staring at our neighbors. We all have a pasture to tend, a flock to care for. It might be our family, our work, our community, or our own personal growth. The key is to see the value in it, to find the purpose in our own unique journey. So next time you find yourself looking over the fence, remember Elias the shepherd. Take a moment to look around at your own pasture. You might just find that the grass is plenty green right where you stand. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that make you think. See you in the next video.